anxiety appears when you are headed in the wrong direction for your soul. It does not mean that that direction is wrong, or it does not mean that that direction is not satisfying some other parts of you. But it's important to know, especially when facing with anxiety, that anxiety is there because it has a reason, it has a purpose. And that reason and that purpose is to realign you with the right thing in life. Therefore, you might be wanting some things. That's okay. You might be desiring for some things to happen in your life or to advance and to become. That's okay. But at the same time, there's another layer, there's another side. And that side is what your soul wants you to become. And that's a thing. You might think that you are free and you are a winner and you can decide whatever you fucking want. But at the same time, there's something there. In other words, you have free will. And that free will is either saying yes or no to your soul. It's that simple. When you understand this simple equation, therefore you can improve your life. And let's discuss the two variables, the black and white, the yes or no. When you say no to what your soul is telling you, that no is saying no, or at least not yet. And that means that you will face some consequences. You may want them, you may not want them, but you cannot expect to be fully fulfilled, fully sane, fully, happy in this life if there is a thing over there when you said no to your soul. Now, why it is important? Why they are consequences? Those consequences are there because you chose something. When you say, hey, I do not want to go to Rome, you have a consequence, You aren't there. And everything that should have happened isn't happening. And that's a consequence. So therefore, if you're saying no to things that are so important to your soul, you might be realizing that you are not fulfilled, not happy, not advancing, and all your life is falling apart and you don't know why. This is why. Now, let's make things a little bit sweeter, right? Because we love that. And for that, let's say the other variable, the variable when saying yes to whatever it is. Your soul, or better said, the desires that are in your soul are planted there for a reason, for a purpose. Therefore, when you're saying yes, there's something happening over there, and that is joy, and that is beauty, and that is all the light and all the freedom that you intrinsically and intuitively wish for. And that thing is there because that desire is helping your soul to evolve. It's that simple. That's the most preferred way for your soul to evolve. This is why we love some things. This is why we don't love some things. This is why we crave or we want different persons or people or persons. This is why we have an affinity or an attraction to certain people, places, and events. This is why. And you understand and when you understand this part of a simple equation, life gets enriched because you are advancing, and all the energy that is in your soul can, be transmuted or arrive, or I don't know the exact term, but can be also in your physical body, in your experience here and now. And that's the place, that's the moment in which you have all the freedom, all the joy, all the fulfillment that you wanted. All the freedom, everything that you intuitively wished for. That's the most beautiful key or path or way to evolve. I personally believe that we do not need suffering in order to evolve. Yes, you might be motivated by all the pain and suffering. Yes, you might evolve out of all the pain and suffering, but it is not a requirement. We can also evolve through joy, freedom, fulfillment, and all the beautiful connection that we want to, because that is the most beautiful way and most preferred way to evolve. And that being said, you have a choice. Do you want to go for what your soul is telling you or not? Now, the thing that it's interfering with this simple equation, saying yes or no, is fear. But it's not anxiety, it's fear. And that fear is kind of, you have an imagination based on something that can happen, but it didn't happen yet. Therefore, when you're standing there and when you feel the fear, your positioning towards fear should be regulated, not the anxiety. Therefore, you don't have to regulate your anxiety through treatments and to somewhere or whatever. You have to literally rebind and refix and regulate your positioning towards fear. Let me tell you what is it, because it's extremely simple, and once you accept it that it's valid, you don't have to do anything else to solve it. Just apply it. And that thing is, it's really simple. You have to understand that fear is an imagination based on something that can happen. It's a potential out of many potentials of beauty and joy and freedom and everything. So it's a path. Maybe there's a path of, I don't know, loving, whatever. There's also a path of evolving through suffering. There's a path of evolving through fear. But is that really evolving through fear? So out of all potentials that are there, you are focused on fear and not on joy and not on the bliss that can happen. When you are identified with your mind will be focused on fear. And not only on fear. Out of all the infinite potentials, it will be focused on one thing. Out of infinite, that's I don't know how much trillions, okay, to have a representations for our human mind. Out of trillions of representations, our mind chooses the one that we fear because that's not safe. But let me tell you, are you your mind or are you something that's beyond your mind? Because if you identified yourself with your mind, it's like being identified with your lawyer. Your lawyer is there to tell you what are the weaknesses, how you can prevent them, what are the risks, and how to overcome them or to prevent them, okay? To make a beautiful contract. Now, are you the lawyer or are you the person in charge? The thing is that we let our charge of our being for the sake of whatever, because we fear. Oh, and we fear fear. And that's the thing that you have to deal with that. And how you deal it? Well, first of all, you understand that it's an illusion. And yes, it's fearful. Therefore, you can apply certain techniques. You can either envision that what you fear and sit with it in meditation. You sit and breathe with that most worst case scenario in your mind. Then you might want to be in peace with that worst case scenario. Then you realize that, oh, it's also the worst case scenario. There, it means that I have a middle ground scenario and I have a best case scenario, you know. So ideal, you have the ideal scenario as well, you know. And that's the thing that fear won't do it for you. But you can definitely do it for you easily, because you are also the generator of your thoughts. Okay, so your thoughts are there and gives you impulses, and you are also there to generate new impulses. Okay, when you are not in charge, in the throne of your being, your mind, your lawyer says, hey, you're not trustworthy enough, I will take charge because I have to deal with everything. So then your lawyer, aka your unconscious part, will take charge. And what that means? What that means is that you have anxiety. Of course you have anxiety. Your lawyer is not supposed to run your company. You are the one. Is about taking another step, okay? And that step is a teeny, tiny, infinitesimal understanding, or at least trying, or play, better said. Let's play and accept that, oh, there is fear, and fear is telling me all these creepy scenarios, yes. And there are other things, right? Now I have to consciously and proactively, voluntarily, purposely engage in a thoughtful process in which I'm actively searching for better cases scenario. Okay? And that's the thing when you shift not only for the so well-figured path that is already in your mind, but you discover that you have agency. Oh my God, you haven't knew it. You didn't know it before. Okay? But you do have agency. And the best way to engage that agency is through playing. Let's create. Yes, let's create. With imagination. Yes. Oh my God, it's just an illusion. Yes, do it. Oh, it's just in my mind. Yes, do it. Because guess what? Anxiety is also in your mind. Okay? So since you have anxiety and fear in your mind, why don't you have a bouquet of, I don't know, joy and beautiful in your mind? Because that can have place too. Now, when you understand this part of the play, you get more relaxed in your mind because your mind is exercising, it's having fun, it's trying different new paths, it's experimenting. Therefore, you are already evolving out of fear, with fear, alongside with fear. We don't have to erase the fear, we don't have to manage the anxiety, we don't have to cancel it. Okay, you don't need to erase it. You just need to add some other parts, other layers that are already there in potential mode and invest in them. It's like having anxiety is like having a garden, and in one part of the garden there's shadow, the sun is not over there, but still there are weeds that are growing and growing and growing, and they are nasty and they are ugly and keep you cold. And on the other side of the garden you have roses. But they have I don't know, the pies, what do you call them? They are roses and they can get you hurt, okay? But at the same time, the beauty that is there, it's like, it's sunny, it's warm, it's beautiful. You can, not only that it's that, but you can also enrich yourself with that warmth, and that sun. And that's the thing, you have to choose. You can choose, you ought to choose which part of the garden you're focusing on. Which one gets your attention. The part that is getting your attention, yes, through focusing, ruminating, oh my God, that's the part that gets enriched, And what happened to the other side? Well, it does not benefit out of your attention, your energy, your nurturing. Therefore, it cannot develop. The state of anxiety is the state in which the sunny part of the garden, the roses, are off because all the energy went poured into the shadow, and that grows, okay? And it's okay to focus on the shadow while you are doing in a proactive, conscious way. Yes, that's the thing to reduce it. But when you're there and you're not actively, proactively being there, consciously, the shadow gets you. And that's the point when life gets messy and you are suffering. Is there any evolution? Does it seem to you that is there any evolution through this path? Because for me, it's like, go and switch to the sun, or at least from that shadow side, please observe that there is a sunny part. By observing is how you are going towards it. By observing, you are walking towards it. By observing, you are enriching that part. And it's okay. If you are now hearing this shadow, yes, let's observe together that rosy, sunnier part, because that exists. Yes, it's in your mind because it's not here. Yes, the roses are not here. It's in our mind. It's in our imagination. And it's in our mind also the shadow and also the light. And also the roses. So let's watch them. When we observe them, that means we are not yet consumed by darkness. And this is all that matters. Okay? Look, just here, by paying attention to what I told you, something shifted in you. And that is the thing that matters the most. That we understood it. Let's have an exercise. Do you want to? Okay, so this exercise is about what do you really wish for? That's it. That's it. It's that simple. We do not overcomplicate it by saying, oh, I wish that, but, oh, I wish that, oh, but it's no. No, we are not playing I wish, but we are playing I wish. That's it. So now, if you have any kind of notepad or any place that you want to type it down, please be my guest. In this light, let's decide, let's choose, let's recognize 10 wishes that are in your heart, in your soul, whatever. And if you don't know where your heart or where your soul is, just type down 10 wishes. It can be as simple as finding oranges or peaches at the store, or it can be something as, I don't know, finding someone and enjoying in certain activities, okay? It does not matter. All that matters is that we are playing I wish for. Yes, that's it. And if your mind is there playing I wish for, but you just let it do its job and focus again on I wish for. I wish for is a powerful exercise, is as powerful as you invest in it, okay? If you do it every single day, its power would grow based on your attention, based on your energy, based on your focusing. So this is the first steps that we are doing into recalibrating ourselves to what we really wish for. When we know what we wish for, we can, I don't know, have a different fluidity in life and choose those things that are appropriate to us. So that's the thing that would bring us forward. And this is a path of joy, fulfillment, and everything that you wish for is there. So enjoy your practice. Bye bye.